The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
And welcome all to another exciting edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So what do we have going on today? Well, we're down. Can you imagine? We've got some red on the screen. They've made maybe three. Maybe I've seen 3 or 4 attempts to push the market back higher. We did get down to 2762-ish on the S&P cash. We're off 12 right now. Now, of course, today is quad witching. We had the futures on options expire, at 9:35 this morning. We've gone through the different futures and contracts on treasuries and other bonds. And we're down to the last one, which is all the options, which expire at 4:15 today. Of course, you can trade them for a few minutes after the bell. Actually, it says into Saturday. I've never done that. I've always done it and got the confirmation. I don't know how you would do that. Maybe it's something that you do at a big street name. Never asked, never cared. But what we want to be doing is watching what's happening. I was talking to one of my subscribers earlier today, or emailing him. He was wondering what was going to happen the rest of the day. And I said, well, before QE started in 2010 or 9, we used to have incredibly wild Fridays into expiration. And especially, I think it was just triple witching at the time. I don't think we had quad witching until 2012. I'll have to go back and check that. Anyway, we haven't been going much anywhere yet, but I would not leave the game early because we have a lot of things that are broken in this market. And those things have to get kind of repaired. I think right now all we have is some spackle on them. Anybody knows spackle? That's it. You just want to not get too excited. I would not rule out a 30-point move up or down before the end of the day. That's how wild these expirations used to be when everybody was on the wrong side. Now, are we going to get that today? I can't promise that anything. I can just tell you that you probably, if you got any money in the market, you probably don't want to be leaving. Maybe nothing happens, but this is the kind of setups where you have a lot of attempts throughout the day to rally, and then everybody has to kind of face the bell by the end of the day and figure out whether they want to sit on anything. Anyway, 2770, let's call it 2772 on the S&P cash, which is off about 11. We went through 2775, which I figured where all the stops were yesterday. Was kind of surprised that we didn't hit them yesterday. Everybody kind of whistling past the graveyard, in my opinion. I was talking to Andy Heck around noon today, and we were talking and kind of batting around a few ideas. My thought, though, is, and I think he kind of agreed with it, that a lot of people are probably thinking that this trade stuff is over in a week. I thought that it would be over sometime in July. He thinks sometime in September. My guess, though, is that everybody that thinks this is over in 1 week is sorely mistaken. That will be my speculation. I could be wrong. But my guess is that we will see this kind of drag on the market through the summer. Depends on how fast these things probably have a bounce as soon as people start negotiating again. Then that negotiation will break down and we'll have another plop lower. Then we'll have more negotiations. And then eventually, after everybody does the kabuki theater, we'll have some kind of deal. Now, there are a couple people that I talked to today that somehow have kind of the, what was Mike's brother's name? The Weasley-like one that went to Las Vegas in Godfather. Maybe somebody will tell me. But he took the opposite side of the family in the argument with Mo Green. He says, "You just don't talk to somebody like Mo Green that way." And of course, Michael calmly told him, "Do not take the opposite side ever again from the family." So I think we're probably going to have a few people doing that. That will make the Chinese read the position wrong, and it could actually run on to September before they figure out that I think we've got a president that is probably looking at this as death before dishonor, and he will ride it into the ground if need be. Now, the United States can handle a lot better. We could put 100 million people out of work in China in 30 days. I'll say that again. We could put 100 million people out of work in China in 30 days. They could maybe put 5 million, 3 million out. I know that everybody would scream and yell because they want instant solutions to problems that have been building for some 30 years. They will not get them. And as long as this is resolved by September, I think it affects the elections not negatively, but probably positively, depending on how it all works out. So we've got a lot of action out here. My guess is it'll weigh on the market. We've got that dollar. We've got commodities falling through the basement. I have to say that after gold and oil held up, I thought maybe it would hold up through today, but see the real selling out of Asia into these oil and gold markets tells you a lot. Got down to 1281 is what we have now in gold. That's off 27. Silver is off 4%, over 4% at 1652. Bloodbath down 75 cents. Platinum's off 23 bucks, and copper, Dr. Copper, off 2.5% at $3.14. So as we look at today, is it bad? Yeah, could have been a lot worse. I think you can, if you're bullish, you can make that argument. But for me, I continue to see a lot of money being spent to try to hold this market up without being able to get to higher prices. The opposite side of that is the longer you hold up near highs, the more likely you're going to break through them. I just can't see that a lot of people, or let me put it this way, I don't think buying the IWM by itself can drive the market through previous highs in the S&P cash. But that's just one man's humble opinion. And I will be back and answer that question. Is the QQQ vulnerable?
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Thinkorswim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com. Dave takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
On this day in 1846, representatives of Great Britain and the United States signed the Oregon Treaty, which settles the long-standing dispute with Britain over who controlled Oregon Territory. Treaty established the 49th parallel from the Rocky Mountains to the Strait of Georgia as the boundary between the United States and British Canada. And of course, this kind of put an ugly chapter to bed from 1812, the War of 1812. Where we were attacked by our brothers from the north. And of course, in 1814, we were reminded this week, or last week, that they burned the White House down. So, if you go back in history long enough, you can probably find a spat between just about anybody, even our great Canadian brothers to the north. It is quad witching. Oop. Let's do that again. It is a quad witching, and of course, that includes stock index futures, stocks index options, stock options, single stock futures, and stock options contracts and index options expire. And of course, this is on the third Friday of March, June, September, and December. We may have a little bit of contagion in the rest of the market from that. But again, the last 30 minutes of the market today, keep a close eye on. We're already up a little bit here. Not uncommon to see a lot of weird action by people on the wrong side. And I think when we pushed down today, a lot of people went short, and we'll see how that turns out. What else is going on? We're at 27.75, so we're off to 7.5 points now in the S&P cash. So let's start looking at some other eyes out here. Okay. what did I want to look at? Canadian Goose. I was looking at this one as a short position. I saw that earnings were coming. Glad I didn't, but I did look at it and see that it was fairly highly short. But this is a recent IPO. It's one of these sliver deals. And by sliver, I mean that they authorize a lot of shares. I don't know what it was on this one. I remember, though, it was about 10%. So they'll, whatever the shares amount is, they'll take 1 million shares, but they'll only let 100,000 of them trade, right? 10%, 15%, a very minute amount. People will get short these, and suddenly you got a 20 or 30% short, and you got a couple 100,000 shares short, and guess what? These things absolutely clock you out of nowhere if you're short. One of the reasons why I'm not a big fan of shorting IPOs until you got a little bit of a history on them. Okay. Now we're actually bouncing on some fairly benign news on what China is tariffing us on. So kind of the opposite side of that. What else? Okay. Did I send that? Yeah, I did. Okay. Nobody's answering. Okay, what else do we have? Oh, anyway, Canadian Goose. Another one of these, ETSY. Etsy, same kind of thing from yesterday. It's not as near as bad. It just had developed a lot of shorts and blew up higher. Not a lot of volume in the follow-up today, but yeah, 32.50, somewhere around there is what you're looking for. So you want to keep an eye on that. Let's go ahead and start looking at some other stocks. MSFT, this thing really looked to me like it wanted to close around 100 today. Got to 126 and has moved back up. What is it? 101. Really just seems like it would close at 100. It's just so close. But they had some pretty good news today. Maybe we'll talk about that in the Tech Insider hour in the 3 o'clock time frame with Tommy O'Brien, where we'll discuss a lot of this stuff. What else do we have? Okay. Wanted to look at a handful of other things. Okay. Question about the SMHs. Oh, we got to go back to the QQQ. And the question is, QQQs have a possible issue? I think they do, but just from this incredibly light volume from April 25th all the way up here, you got a little bit of a hanging man out here today. But right now, the most vulnerable stocks are, of course, in the Dow and the big international companies in the S&P 500. Why everybody's trying to get around that and dive into the stocks of the small caps, thinking that they'll be the least susceptible to this. In fact, what do we got for the IWM right now? It's off 9 cents. We have kind of a bit of an issue there in the fact that these are the weakest in the past, but I think right now the IWM and these small cap holders are the most vulnerable. We'll talk about the QQQs too, but no volume at the highs in the Qs, no energy off the last low. So you have a lot of things out here that say these things are kind of vulnerable. I wrote both in the Tech Insider and the Path of Least Resistance today my worries that go back to Jesse Livermore and Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. He was writing about really the trade that made him rather famous, and that was shorting United Pacific Railroad back in, I think, in 1906 or 1907. But he shorted it, and I think he was either short or getting ready to go short. There was an earthquake out in San Francisco, leveled everything. You'll all remember that from your history. And of course, he talked to somebody out there that had a phone and told him basically what was going on. And the market just shrugged it off and shrugged it off and shrugged it off for a number of days. But eventually, it took, after started heading down, he made one of the biggest scores of his entire life, percentage-wise. Certainly, the one that made him a notable in the Wall Street as a big up-and-comer by being short that. He made all his money in 3 days. It just fell like a rock out of there. But for a couple of days or 3 days, it did nothing. Everybody ignored it. And kind of the moral of the tale was that a lot of times the market will ignore issues until it doesn't. So you always have to keep kind of an eye on it. Anyway, 2778 on the S&P cash. We're off 4 points now as they continue to push this market up a little bit. But yeah, I think we can talk about that. Okay. Netflix, okay, IQ, China. Anyway, yeah. The old story, oh, we'll say this when we come back, but the old story from George Granville is that when everything's headed down, which I think it is, they always run to the back of the Titanic. But all that changes is when that part of the ship heads lower. We'll be back in a minute.
The Path of Least Resistance, David White's daily market letter, gives you trade recommendations based on David's proprietary Power Law Vector indicator that put the odds of success overwhelmingly in your favor. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price for each stock and option trade. David combines his years of trading experience along with his background in technology and computing to offer his subscribers his take on the markets on a daily basis. Every trading day by 9:30, David publishes his morning issue of the Path of Least Resistance, along with updates sent out throughout the week whenever there is new actionable trading information. All new subscribers receive a 30-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. To sign up for David White's daily trading newsletter right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Has the current market volatility continued to stop you out of trades when the market spikes against you? Now is the perfect time to open up an account with Nadex. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a brand new, completely regulated Chicago-based exchange, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their completely free trading platform, which also features real-time charts and full customization capability. One of the advantages of trading with Nadex in volatile markets is that your risk is always capped and you have the ability of keeping your trades open even when the market spikes against you. Nadex is completely brand new with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com. Or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And we were talking about oil, and I was playing the SCO. Didn't really make any money at it, but before I went on vacation. But certainly it has been a kind of a little rocket ship. Caught a lot of people sleeping today. The question is, it needed 1.5 million shares from that June 5th high. Today, 1.9 million shares already. You want to close over 1950 to confirm this. But it looks to me like what we're waiting for now is Monday, and what the actual dollar does. We'll see what it's doing right now. It's off 15 cents. So just under 94.78 on the June contract. So you've got a lot of action in that. What I guess I'll have to look and see when the rollover is on that. But it is a problematic. But could you have found a high? Well, I don't think we're going to know till Monday of whether this is just a huge counter move into this previous high at 1950, at least on the SCO. Volume's good though. Would have liked to seen it held that high, which is one of the things that it did not do. We'll keep an eye on that. Do we have anything else out here? Okay, let me go back to this. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, we're off 2 points now on the S&P cash. Literally nothing will stop people from buying a dip. Absolutely nothing. They'll have this market one day and it will go right back up to the high by the end of the day, I suspect. Just literally nothing can keep these people from buying. But once it gets to the high, there's no volume. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Anyway, other stocks of interest. Amazon, let's take a look at it so far today. And yeah, volume's not as bad as you would think. 3 million shares today, a little off the 1724 high we saw yesterday, and a little pullback. The question is just, you certainly look like the area of support is about 1550, and what it will take to get that thing to pull back a little bit. Question about SNAP, SNAP. So got a couple of questions, I think. Okay. Okay, on Snap. Yeah, you're right up against it, but there's no volume. This is I suspect, another sell signal on Snap. You got a huge amount of resistance. You'd need some kind of overwhelming news event, I suspect, to drive this higher. You're down on May 2nd with 159 million shares. Yesterday you had 30 plus million shares. Today 17.4 million shares as you drive into $14.17 for the high so far. So again, you've had a pretty good, 3-4 days of declining volume as you've gone into that. Sounds to me like if you held this thing, you probably got everything that you should have been thinking about off that bottom. Now you want to pull back to about 1250 to get it going. Okay, well, now we're flat on the S&P cash. So we can see, did we get enough shorts in this morning for them to just run them at the close? Like I said, this is one of these days that you can see huge volatility intraday on this. If we just sit here and stop again, that would be one of the craziest things of all times. Okay, what else do we want to look at? TLT. Okay, every time the TLT looks like it's going to go down there for the 116 high 115 area, you get kind of a counter trend move out of this market. Got down to 118.82. Now we're up to 122.09 with no volume today. You could make a case that this is an ABC for the way down. Do we have that on this one? 115? No. Let's do this one then. A is there, B is there, and C today. Okay, would be a 65% retracement. Would take you to 1-to-1 would take you to 117, which isn't that bad. The bigger one, which would be the 1-to-382, would take you back to the 115s. So probably the biggest problem is just the incredibly light volume. You are coming back down, at least in the TLT, on the 1st of June with 8.7 million shares to the downside and 4.8 million so far to the upside. So pretty light volume filling this gap. What else do we have to look at out here today? Facebook, man, have they been pushing Facebook? The people on the TV are all over it. There's just nothing they can say about how Facebook shouldn't be. If you got Facebook, buy twice as much. They certainly have been hammering this home to make sure everybody owns Facebook. February 1st, we had 195.32 with 54 million shares. Yesterday, we had 19.2 million shares. Today, we've got 13.5 million shares. Yesterday was a little higher, so you're back just a little out here. Energy, again, off these lows was not all that exciting, so we will have to see. Okay. Let's go ahead. We looked at Facebook and let's look at Netflix, NFLX on this expiration day. Okay. Let's see what we got. We got 3 strong volume days up to 398.86 today. Question is whether you can close above yesterday's close now. The close of yesterday was 392.87. So what are we at now? 393.60. But that would be 3 drives right there, which wouldn't be horrible. You can come back to 375. Volume was good 2 days ago on the 13th with 18.2 million shares. Yesterday, 14.6 million shares. Today, a higher high on, let's call it 10.6 million shares so far. Question is, can you get 15 million shares, which we had yesterday, or if it's going to just be another light day? In fact, when we look at the volume today, 3.7 billion shares. Is that updated? Oh, 4.8 billion shares, excuse me. I didn't have that page updated, which is pretty good volume. So we did go down on lower volume. We are going to probably, looks like they're trying to pin this out. But again, like I said, you don't want to leave your seats on a day like this. There are a lot of interconnected things that can go snafu fairly quickly. You could just as easily be closing at 2,800 today as you could at 2760 or 2750. So get out the popcorn. I think we're going to have some interesting moves before the end of the day.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks. Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global valuable perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
And I think we had somebody in the den point out Twitter out here. Kind of interesting doji. You had one here, though, on the 11th that didn't turn into much, but that one was basically a doji on light volume today. I guess we're going to have a doji on lighter volume. 36.4 million shares so far compared to 51 million shares yesterday. So a little lighter. So you can make the case that at least some of these went lower on lighter volume. Some of these actually went higher on lighter volume. So it's going to be an interesting close today. Okay, what else did we have out here that we wanted to look at? Got a question about NVIDIA. NVDA, probably the strongest stock in the semiconductor space. Not a lot that I can see that's going to change their path forward in the next 6 months or so. PC sales could go down a little bit, but still doing fairly good. It's the rest of the market that is problematic. You really just have a couple of days going sideways out here. I didn't see a lot in the newsletter. What else do we have that I wanted to look at? AMD, let's take a quick look at it. Now, AMD does have a little bit bigger issue. It's kind of up today on 57 million shares compared to the 113 million shares on the downside, which is kind of par for the course. We're got a little bit more volume on down days than we do on up days, and they're kind of mixed. But you know what? To me, the semiconductor space, in fact, the news on Apple continues to be rather, let's go back to Apple, AAPL. Apple ends up being problematic. I think we're starting to see a little bit of weight on the 20% lower iPhone business, and semis continue to be the underperformer in the tech space with a handful of other things. My guess is that eventually it's going to come back and fill this gap at about 172. That goes back to the gap up on May 2nd. You had 66.5 million shares, kind of pulling back with 21 today, 26 million shares. So you are down, and volume has picked up before the last 2 days, which were about 21 million shares. Now you had this long consolidation run in the in Apple from the 31st of May back to the 7th of May, and I've got to sneeze. Oh boy, nothing like air conditioning in the summer. This gives me the chills. A little bit of willies. Um, so what do you got? Well, it certainly is um, starting to weigh on Apple, but you have to make it through that 187.50 range. What are we were 80 cents above it today, but volume has increased. Support probably about 182.50. Um, the only question is where and when Buffett decides to step in and when you get share buybacks to hold this thing up. But if we erased all that, my guess is this would have come right back down to 172 already, but doesn't seem to matter because you got the money to hold it up. I'm just wondering whether it is smart to do so. Let's take a look at a few other stocks out here. DDD, take a quick look at this. Okay. We went into the previous high at 144.44, which is the October 4th, 2017 high, had 3.2 million shares, got into it with 2.7 million shares, went above it, 14.99, trying to slowly close back into it. Energy was pretty good off this May 3rd high, but you are kind of smacking into it. The resistance level off this huge down day, which was what is that? August 2nd of 2017, came down with 3 million shares. So it's not that bad, but I think you're going to need this thing to pull back to about 1250 on light volume, and then that would be the tee up to go through there and break through that resistance at 16. Question about Docu. This new IPO we brought up in the Tech Insider Hour. Got a few new IPOs that we're going to talk about today too. So we'll get to those. Now this was the document signing internet company. And there's a lot of these companies that are kind of finding the right spots in various businesses. We'll talk about another one, but a nice run. When did we talk about them? 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago? Did well. I'm not a fan of trading IPOs until they've gotten out for a while, but I think this one was so oversubscribed that you could probably figure that it was going a bit higher. To me, it would have been a gamble instead of an intelligent speculation. So we continue to just keep an eye on it and wait for it to come out. So we're still hovering about 2 points down on the S&P, 61 points down on the Dow, and the Nasdaq still off 10, and the Russell's still it's down 1.5, which is not bad, about 1/10 of a point. So everybody's still flooding in the Russell, thinking it will be immune to the market. But my guess is that we will find the one thing that Joe Granville said that I could find any use for, and that was his Titanic theory, and that is something I put into use. I think it was either 2007 or 2008. Saw a lot of action, and instantly everybody started flooding to the bonds. The bonds went up for about 2 weeks and then headed down much stronger. But this was kind of in the depths of all that home mortgage issues. So we saw that, and it kind of came through. Yeah, and quad witching into the close. So we could see a lot of action out here. Do not be surprised about 10-point moves in 5 minutes. If this is starting to seeing echoes of pre QE of exciting options days. Again, we could close at 2760 or at 2800. It would not be beyond the scope of reason as kind of a messed up as this market is after the dollar move. My guess is not higher. The reason why is you'd need crude in that energy sector stocks probably to help the market out, and I don't see that happening. I don't think a lot of people are going to want to put their head in the lion's mouth going into the weekend. And We'll see. Anyway, dollars off to 15 cents. As we come back here, oil still off $1.92. Natural gas up a nickel. Carbach is down almost 7 cents. So gasoline going to get a bit cheaper. Gold trading at 12.82. Silver 16.58. Copper $3.15.27.
No matter what kind of trader you are, 2018 is a great time to try out a subscription to Tom O'Brien's Gold Report. Whether you just plan on diversifying your portfolio with some exposure to gold and gold mining equities, or you're a gold bull that sees 2018 as the year of commodities, now is a great time to sign up for the Gold Report. Tom O'Brien publishes his Gold Report every Monday morning before the market opens and covers a variety of topics including gold, silver, platinum, copper, the XAU and HUI, the dollar, bonds, South African rand, as well as more than 20 of the most actively traded mining equities. Start your 2018 off with a bang and sign up for the Gold Report today. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. For all the details and to start your subscription right now, visit the front page of TFNN.com and you'll find the Gold Report under Investment Newsletters. David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And are we back already? No, yep. Was nodding off out here. Was busy. I was hypnotized by my charts and the ticker out here. We're off 2 points on the S&P cash. Let's take a look at here. Dow's off almost 60. Nasdaq's off 11. Russell's off 1.5. Anyway, got a question on Qualcomm. Okay. So you got a little bit of a pullback. My problem with this would be the trade wars, because, of course, a great deal of this has to do with the Indian and China markets for Qualcomm. And I think we could probably see this one impacted until the deal is done. I think that this high at 62.65 is probably a high for a little while. What I would love to see in this is to come back maybe a couple of jigs through the end of the summer back down to about 53-ish. This gap down here looks like that would be nice. Pull back on light volume, get the trade deal done. Then I think Qualcomm would be ready for its run into the fall and 5G release and just about everything else. They kind of own the keys to the kingdom. And maybe the worst thing that happens is you do get that buyout at $85. But my guess is that we'll hear a lot of yelling and screaming in technology about getting these products into the other ones. We'll see you in the next hour with Tommy O'Brien. Remember to sow when you can, not when you have to. And we'll be back Monday, same bat channel, same bat time.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.